Coalition-9 for Operation Chimera. This is one that certainly plays to some of the strengths of particularly the Swedish line in the coalition, but you can do this in almost any tank that qualifies for Operation Chimera because the requirements are pretty simple. We need to do 2,000 damage from 250 meters or more, and then we need to get 3 kills, and those 3 kills have no distance requirements, so just kill 3 tanks and you're good there if you want to complete the secondary. This is probably a good example of what I'll call a successful failure, in that I completed the primary condition. I came pretty close to completing the secondary condition, but we ended up losing the match. One of the challenges of this mission is that having to be 250 meters or more away from the tanks that you're shooting, you're sort of trying to hang back and make sure you're not part of that front line. But as you can see, at least as it relates to the eastern part of this map, nobody wants to be part of that front line, which is going to give the enemy team pretty significant map control here. This also is probably a good time to talk about being aware of that mini-map. You can see the enemy team is already starting to push up into that village a little more aggressively. They're already across the road there. But you don't want to be the front line, and if you see that you're pretty close to the front line, and basically I am the front line in terms of the mid-south, you need to get out of there. Because you certainly don't want to be in a position where maybe you can't effectively spot because you're waiting for others to spot, and then a tank sneaks up on you and really ruins your day. Particularly in a match where there's 3 already on the enemy team. If you get lit, who knows what's going to rain down on you, in addition to the already you've got unspotted tanks out there. So I quickly position. Not going to get a lot of shots at 250 meters down this lane unless somebody's way in the back there. Not a lot of good opportunity here, so I just decide to exit this area pretty quick. But there is one area that is extremely good on this map in terms of not only distance, but it's just sort of a power position on this map, which is down at K2. Right there's a little cubby hole. Artie sort of sits in this area typically, but if that village falls and the enemy is pushing towards the cap, this spot right here is a pretty phenomenal position because it's basically wide open for you to shoot across, and it's within the distance requirement here. I could have had a kill shot on that, but Artie was running across my path. So that was one shot we missed, but you could see, the team is dying here, so everything is going to be coming into my view, and now it's really just a question of can I actually get damage out of my tank fast enough to get this mission done before I get overrun, because there's almost no way that we're going to win this match. So that's really the focus here, is how to make sure that I live long enough to get my damage in. So I'm not necessarily going to worry too much about the tanks that are in the north. I'm just going to focus on these tanks that are east of me, because I know that they're over 250 meters, and I'm going to get my damage out of them. So because of the clip of the TVP, and like I've said many times in other videos, the TVP is just an amazing tank for almost all of the missions. Because of the damage output of the TVP, it's just so easy to do 2,500 damage in a match. It's almost trivial. Even in a just a steamroll loss like this, doing 2,500 damage is pretty easy. I'm gonna basically get it right here. So. I'm going to die pretty quickly here, but it's still a good amount of damage put out. Mission complete, not with honors, pretty close to, but there you go. That's Coalition-9. So let the enemy come to you, I think, is the big thing. Again, you don't want to be on the front lines, and in fact, you want to be as far from those front lines as you possibly can. TDs are great for this. But you need to fall back early. If those lines are collapsing, recognize that, pay attention to the mini-map, and get the heck out of there. The easiest way to do that is use a mobile tank. You're not going to be using a heavy tank for this, obviously, because you don't want to be sniping with the heavy. Light tanks certainly have the mobility, but maybe not the best pen for this. I think the TDs and the Swedish line are great for this, or top tier mediums are great for this as well. So I hope that helps, guys, and we'll see you on the next mission.